Welcome into today's show here on JTV, brought to you by the Insurance Circle Agency, myInsuranceCircle.com, and located in Jackson and Battle Creek. Good to have you with us, whether you're watching on TV, online, or listening on the pod. I'm David Rice. That's Adam. Hello, Adam.
Hello, man. How's it going?
Good. We had a great weekend of high school football to start the year. Let's get right into it. First, I do want to mention a couple of things, again, happening out at Jackson College. Already sold out, but the 12th annual JC Jets golf outing supporting all JC athletics happening Saturday, September 28th, end of the month, 9 a.m. at Lakeland Hills. That's my golf course, so hopefully they are fair game out there. So, and also their cross-country tryouts are happening again on September 4th at 3:30 p.m. But high school football, week one, we kicked off our 25th season of live high school football on Thursday night, presented by Minuteman Sewer and Drain. Lumen Christi on top of Michigan Center, 49-21. More on that's coming up. And some other scores. Onstead took care of Napoleon, 35-20. Manchester, the Flying Dutchman, opened up the Josh Lindemann head coach era for the Dutch. They beat Marlette from the Thumb, 24-8. They start the season 1-0. Lindemann, we've got this game circled on my calendar at least. Next Friday, he faces his former team, the Addison Panthers, at home Friday at 7 o'clock. Columbia Central dropped a close one against Adrian Madison at home, and that was a game that was back and forth. Columbia had the lead. Madison scored and then scored again, and Columbia scored to make it 17-13 and just didn't end up scoring again late. Sand Creek took care of Vandercook Lake in a shutout. Vandercook's first game back, playing 11-man varsity for the first time since 2019, so it's good to have the Jayhawks back competing in the Cascade Conference. Northwest Mounties dropped a big one on the road against Tecumseh, 47-7. Addison started 1-0 against Clintondale, 20-12. Springport got a win, great for them and their team, and head coach Ben Pack, who was at Manchester, 28-13. The Grass Lake Warriors, Braden Lape had 2 touchdowns, 32-14 over Grass Lake. And for the first time in over 4 years, Jonesville won the rivalry with Hillsdale, 22-21. And Western, the Panthers, first night on their new turf field at their stadium, beat Dearborn Divine Child. Their first game on the schedule was a big one, and right away they took care of business over Divine Child, 36-14. We have highlights from that game on our website. You can go to jtv.tv for that. Leslie won their big rivalry game against Stockbridge for the first time in a few years as well. So congratulations to Coach Tim McCann and the Leslie Blackhawks. 41-7 over Stockbridge. Concord in 8-man action. Quarterback Gavin Risky for the Yellow Jackets. 6 touchdowns, 300 yards, 64-20. In a big win for Concord. And East Jackson lost a close one, 35-28 against Lutheran Westland. And in some Friday games, Hanover Horton, the Comets, shut out Monroe Jefferson and had a big one, 54-0. So a good start for the Comets on Friday night. And myself and JTV's Jeff Steers got a chance to watch the Jackson Vikings. More details on them later in the show. We'll be there next Friday live. They battled in a close one against Monroe, 32-27. Quarterback Kyron Stamper had 4 touchdowns, but it was the defense that came up big for that game. And my takeaways from that, it was back and forth. Jackson High scored to take the lead. They had a turnover on downs on offense. They gave Monroe around a minute-ish left at the end of the game. Jackson High defense delivered a big hit on the Monroe quarterback, fumbled. Vikings defense picked it up and won the game. That was a great game. I have got a full recap online from that game at jtv.tv. We have photos from that game. We also have pictures from Hanover Horton and Monroe. We've got pictures from Lumen Christi and Columbia Central. We've got pictures from Grass Lake, Western, and a lot more on our website. We were everywhere. Just go to jtv.tv. Also coming up in today's show, we'll have our top plays of the week presented by Pataki Orthodontics. We will show you some of our favorite Media Day interviews as we kick off the season. We'll feature Jackson High quarterback Kyron Stamper, who had 4 touchdowns this last game. We'll also feature Lumen Christi running back Kadale Williams. He'll be in our top plays. It was a play that didn't count, but I still thought it was a great play, the hurdle. And we'll also talk to Raslik wide receiver, senior Bryant Cook. And Michigan got a big win over Fresno State, 30-10. We'll talk a little bit about that at the end of the show. Tigers are 5 games back of the last wild card spot, actually now 4, now that they just picked up their 70th win over the Boston Red Sox. So we've got a lot to get to on today's show, but I did want to talk a little bit more our high school games. Again, we'll talk more about it. We have our top plays coming up with Lumen and Michigan Center. But Adam, any takeaways though from you on the Lumen Christi Center? And it was a close. The final score didn't really look like it. 49-21, but it was a close first half. It was back and forth. This was for a majority of the game. This was a back and forth competitive ball game.
Yeah, I think people were getting a little nervous there. I kind of felt the energy. But then, I think once that second half started, Lumen Christi just did what Lumen Christi always does. They just started pulling away. They just started taking, advantage of Michigan Center. Their size has always been the big issue. And I think Michigan Center just didn't have the size enough to be able to match up with them. So, yeah, Lumen Christi really just kind of ran away with it at the end.
Quarterback Timmy Crowley, 3 touchdowns, including one that we'll have in our top plays. Cash Kalahar had a touchdown. Kadale Williams had a couple. Lumen Christi will travel to Pontiac Notre Dame Prep next Friday, 7 p.m. kickoff, and Michigan Center will host Hanover Horton to open up conference play Friday, 7 o'clock. Manchester, of course, opened up 1-0, and Jackson High, Kyron Stamper scored 4 touchdowns. Jackson defense came up big again when it mattered most for the road win. Blair Pippin scored the other touchdown for the Vikings. Monroe had the ball with less than a minute. 2 Vikings on defense delivered a hit on the Monroe quarterback and secured the win. Talking to Coach Antonio Parker after the game, I had a chance to talk with him for a couple minutes. And he said, look, a lot of the plays that we ran tonight were a lot of quarterback keepers, a lot of sweeps and end arounds, and a lot of options, and a lot of quarterback runs. But other guys, got involved. They used 2 or 3 running backs. They had a few passes that were big for them. And the quarterback, Kyron Stamper, got hurt at the end of the third quarter. So the backup came in for Jackson High, Eubanks, and he was able to finish off the game for the Vikings and secure the win. And I asked Coach Parker about that, and he said, I'm really proud of the way Daniel Eubanks came in for our team. Came in, finished the game. We got away with a win, and our defense stepped up too. And he's really looking forward to our game, which we'll have live on JTV, Jackson High and Waverly next Friday, 7 o'clock. Myself, Josh Brigette, Dan Gallagher will be on, and Max Fritz as well. So really looking forward to Jackson High.
You said it was against Waverly? I've
Yep.
never heard of that school. Where's that?
Lansing.
Lansing. Oh, that's
Waverly.
interesting. I don't
Yep.
think we've ever covered a game, at least that I've been at, that's been in that team.
I haven't either.
Interesting. Well, I'm interested to see how they play.
Yeah. A lot of other area sports happening too. In addition to high school football, of course, a few college athletics. Jackson College had a men's soccer game. Spring Arbor women's soccer got a big win, 3-0 over Indiana Tech. Volleyball, Jackson College got a couple of wins. Spring Arbor had a volleyball win against Lawrence Tech. And they also had wins against Calumet and Indiana Northwest. So a full weekend recap and roundup on our website with pictures and more from across college and the high school games at jtv.tv. And again, we'll talk about more in depth at the end of the show, but I did want to mention here while we have a minute, Michigan State played Friday night against Florida Atlantic, and I'll admit, I I picked Florida Atlantic.
It was
Um,
looking scary. I will say that. It was looking a little scary.
I didn't watch a lot of it. We were at watching Jackson High, so
Mhm.
I didn't watch a ton of it. Um, but Michigan, again, we'll talk more about them. But it's the first game, and you made a point on that too. It's the first game, new coach. They only had 6 returning starters this year for the Wolverines on both sides of the ball. Now the pick six by Will Johnson was great at the end of the game, but we just we had a I would call it a weird. It was kind of a weird offense that Michigan ran. A lot of RPOs, a lot of QB
That's
options.
fun. That's a
I mean,
fun style offense. I mean, it's different. It's not what we're used to seeing out of Michigan, the ground and pound style offense, but that's fun.
but they didn't throw a lot of passes in general, let alone deep balls. So it was a lot of on the ground, and they did use both quarterbacks, Alex Orji and um, Davis Warren. They started the game with Warren. I I don't really know who I was more impressed by. I really don't know um, if I'd go with Orji to start the second week for sure. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch the whole game again to really see. Um, I have mixed emotions on both quarterbacks. Um, so we'll have more about that coming up, and we'll have our top plays. So when we come back, we'll get to our top 5 plays of the week here on JTV, presented by Pataki Orthodontics. We've got more of the show brought to you by the Insurance Circle Agency coming up next. Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David Rice. Our show today brought to you by the Insurance Circle Agency. Thanks to them for the hats and the new set decor, mugs and tumblers and whatnot. So thanks to them for everything. Appreciate it. MyInsuranceCircle.com. New segment on the show, our top 5 plays of the week. Of course, if you normally watch the Aspen 1 Hour Football Show during the season, you'll see we have a couple top plays to show and our player of the week while we're mentioning the games. But new segment on our show. Also, again, want to thank our sponsor for the top plays of the week, Pataki Orthodontics. So, again, thank you for all that they do, and you can visit them. So thank you to Pataki Orthodontics. Let's get right into it. Our top 5 plays of the week. Shall we start, Adam?
Yes, we should.
At number 5, this play didn't count, but it was still a play I thought we had to throw in there. Number 5, Cadale Williams in the first quarter. It was early on. Hurdles a man. Now it did get called back, we believe, because he did make contact with the defender. You can't touch them. It has to be a clean jump as you're watching the highlight here. But still a great play. Hurdled the guy and still ended up scoring a touchdown. Again, it didn't count, but it was still a great play. That's our number 5 play of the week.
We had to put that in there because that was
Oh,
so
right.
sick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look at it.
Number 4, Michigan center. Again, Trey Collins, made a big play for the Michigan Center Cardinals. And again, Michigan Center, it was a really competitive first half. So Trey Collins set them up perfectly for a big touchdown there, over almost 50 yards to put Michigan Center inside the 5-yard line. And number 3, Timmy Crowley, quarterback for the Lumen Christi Titans. He had 3 touchdowns on the night, and he had 2 himself on rushing touchdowns, including one, I said it on the broadcast, that reminded me of the Peyton Manning one, where he faked out the whole stadium.
The bootleg. That's awesome.
That's right. So that's at number 3 that happened early on in the second quarter. Number 2, Michigan Center, again, Braylon Brown doing his thing for the Cardinals. We had a chance to talk to him at Media Days. So Michigan Center, another big play that kept him in the game throughout the first half. And you mentioned it earlier, you could feel the energy in the stadium when it was a close game. It was
Oh
like,
yeah.
whoa.
Especially it being the who it's against, it being opening weekend. You could feel the pressure, and then Lumen Christi just ran away with it.
Right. And our number one top play of the week, this happened in the second half. Of course, for Lumen Christi, you always hear about Cadale Williams or the quarterback, Timmy Crowley, or even their running back or fullback, Rayberg. But there were a couple other guys who made big plays for Lumen Christi Friday night. Another running back, Josh Dumont, and wide receiver, Cash Callahar. That's our top play of the week in the second half. Long pass from Timmy Crowley. He was able to hold on to the ball. He was going to get tackled, basically pushes him off, shakes off the D, keeps the play alive. Cash Callahar scores for the Lumen Christi Titans. Great 5 plays, by the way, to kick off our first week of high school football. So thanks to Minuteman Sewer and Drain, and thanks to Pataki Orthodontics for our top 5 plays of the week. And again, every week from our live broadcast, we'll bring you 5 more plays to show. So next week, next Monday, we'll have 5 plays from the Jackson Vikings against the Warriors. Not the Grass Lake Warriors, but the Waverly Warriors. So thanks to Pataki Orthodontics, and that's our top 5 plays of the week. And you can always go back and check out top plays or highlights from the full game of our live broadcast online, along with photos and other coverage at jtb.tv. So coming up, we'll still have more high school football coverage, including some interviews from Chelsea State Bank Media Day. So we've got more of the show coming up, brought to you by the Insurance Circle Agency. Stay with us. Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David Rice. Thanks to the Insurance Circle Agency. Of course, not long ago, we had a chance to talk to many high school athletes in our area, high school football players, for our Chelsea State Bank Media Day out at Jackson High. And we're going to give you a chance today to revisit our discussion with some of the players. Again, we just had Lumen Christi on live on JTV over the weekend. We'll get a chance in a few minutes to talk to Lumen Christi running back Cadale Williams. We'll have Jackson High coming up this Friday against Waverly here on JTV. We'll talk to Kyron Stamper, quarterback, who had 4 touchdowns this last week. So we'll talk to him, and from the Grass Lake Warriors, who we'll get a chance to see later on this season here on JTV, Grass Lake senior wide receiver Bryant Cook. So thanks to the Insurance Circle Agency, and thanks to Pataki Orthodontics, and of course Chelsea State Bank, bringing you Football Media Days. So let's take a look at some past interviews from high school football media days. Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David Rice. Our show today brought to you by the Insurance Circle Agency. One of many interviews here at JTV Football Media Days. Thanks to all of our sponsors here inside the J-High facility for making this happen as we get closer to our 25th season of live high school football here on JTV Sports. We wrap up our Friday today with star running back from Lumen Christi, back-to-back state champions, Cadale Williams. Appreciate the time today.
Yes, sir.
And you just committed recently, too, to Central, so congrats on that.
Appreciate it.
What was the feeling like they're getting ready to sign the paper and make it official?
Well, I didn't sign yet, so
Okay.
looking forward to that. But they really caught my attention. I love the way the coaches, they're like straightforward, and I really like that and appreciated them. So that really got my attention.
You guys were in the Catholic League for the first time last season. How was that for you guys making that adjustment?
It wasn't. I don't want to say it was easy, because it wasn't easy, but
Right.
we loved it. It was a lot of fun. We appreciate them for welcoming us and for giving us a chance to be in theirs. And we went in, played our butts off.
Most of the starting lineup on both sides of the ball, senior class, talk about that bond that you guys have, not just the seniors, but on and off the field, for most of you guys, it's the last ride together.
Yeah, so, we got a lot of leadership and, not even that. We're just all super close in general. Like, we're all here. Like, I got all my seniors back there. And after this, we're about to go to one of my other teammates' house and, just chill, be with each other, and have a good time. So we're very close, and we make sure we keep that bond on and off the field at all times.
Of course, you guys come into the season back-to-back state champions. Of course, the first game on the clock, but looking towards the end, obviously, the ultimate goal for that three-peat. What do you think it's going to take to get over that hill again, make it a third straight?
A lot of, growth and maturing. We got some young guys that have to step up, no doubt about it. And I got a lot of confidence in them that they would do that. So, yeah, can't wait to see how it come out.
How's the 7-on-7s and summer workouts been going so far?
Working my butt off. I haven't been really too much focused on the 7-on-7 stuff. I'm not trying to get hurt or nothing like that, being smart. But, yeah, I'm working my butt off other than that.
Any specific games you or the team have circled on the calendar the most? I know there's a couple
state championship game.
Yeah, state Ford Field for sure. Talk a little about Coach, of course, Herb Brogan, long time going into his 45th year at Lumen Christi at the helm for the Titans. What does he mean to you in the program?
To me, we have a tight bond. We all love him. He's that one coach that, like, no one's scared to talk to him. If it don't matter if it's football or problems you're going through off the field, we know we can always go and talk to him. So, yeah, it's cool having him around, being one of them guys.
Of course, most of the crew here from JTV was at Ford Field State Championship, a close game against Menominee. It came down to that last play. Your defense made a stop.
Yeah.
What was that like watching? The rest of the guys on the sideline. I imagine it had to be nervous. It was a long play too, and then just the feeling of getting the trophy again and being able to celebrate that.
Yeah, I knew my guys would do it on defense. You gotta have that trust, and I feel like we always and will always continue to have that trust in our teammates. So, yeah.
You guys open up the season as you did last year, playing Michigan Center, this time on your guys' home field. And then you play at Pontiac, Notre Dame Prep, and again a couple of other league contenders about midway through the season, U of D and Divine Child. So I imagine you guys have them. Obviously, you want to get to Ford Field. You just mentioned that circled on the calendar the most, but those two for sure. Definitely circled for you guys, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, they got some pretty good guys on both teams, so can't wait to see what they bring.
Well, good luck this season. I know third straight championship three-peat on the horizon, so we're looking forward to covering you guys against Michigan Center live on JTV Week 1. So appreciate the time and good luck this season.
Appreciate it.
Welcome back here on JTV. Our show today brought to you by the Insurance Circle Agency. I'm David Rice. We continue our coverage here at 2024 JTV Football Media Days, not far away from the kickoff of our 25th season of live high school football. And we're inside our next guest facility from the Jackson Vikings, quarterback senior Kyron Stamper. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So after making the playoffs, Jackson High, 5 consecutive years, just missed out on it last year. I got to imagine that lit a fire inside for you guys throughout summer workouts and 7-on-7s to get back to that. And how's workouts and 7-on-7s been going?
It's been going pretty good. Changing the playbook up a little bit, trying to get our the ball into the fast players' hands as soon as possible. In the weight room been real monumental for us. It's going to change us a lot. We really missed that in the last couple years, to be honest. And having this indoor facility, we really started to take more advantage of the opportunities.
For sure, and inside, of course, the new facility, which is great. We've had our media days here last couple of years. How's this benefited you guys? And I imagine all the sports benefit from this building too.
It really helped us bring the young players along faster because you have the access to football all year round, and plus giving us the opportunity to lift all year round. It really changed the teams in all sports.
You guys started out last season 4-1, ended 4-5, just missed out on the playoffs, and again third in the SEC, right behind Adrian and Chelsea. What's it going to take to get over that hump and get back to a winning record and compete with them for the SEC?
I think last year wasn't as committed as we were this year. I think we had some holes in the weight room in our team. I think that's what caused us to break down later in the season. But I think we filled those holes for sure this summer.
Your coach, Antonio Parker, going into his third season here as the coach of the Vikings. What does he mean to you and you guys in the program?
Coach Parker really been a big part of all of our success that we have had. He changed us around a lot, to be honest, especially compared to before. We get the ball into the faster players' hands a lot faster. The weight room been more of an emphasis. And really just our mindset. Everybody has a 12-round mindset that, like, you can't give up in the first or second quarter. It's a four-round game.
Obviously, everybody in the conference wants the conference championship, but do you guys have any other goals or maybe individual goals that you want to accomplish this year?
Really to enjoy my senior year. I mean, all the work we didn't put in, my class, all the work we didn't put in now. We don't want to have it go down in waste. I mean, we really want to enjoy this last year and really do something to leave our own mark.
You guys were having a good time earlier asking the questions before we came on the show. Talk about the bond you guys have between the team and your teammates, maybe on and off the field too.
Especially with my class, I think we have a real close bond. I mean, we've been playing football together since we was third graders, so everybody's been stick together ever since. So everybody knows what buttons to push, what not to push, and I think we're really close-knit.
So you play quarterback, slot, receiver, and DB. Do you have a favorite position that you like to play? Obviously, you're the starting quarterback, but do you have a favorite position that you like to play?
Not really. Really just give me when I have the ball in my hands, when I'm making play on the ball.
You guys open the season at Monroe. So good luck the rest of the season. I know we'll be live here from Jackson High on JTV week 2 versus Waverly, so we're looking forward to it. So
yes, sir, me too.
Appreciate the time today and good luck this year.
Thank you.
Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David Rice. Our show today brought to you by the Insurance Circle Agency. We continue our coverage here at Media Days here at the beautiful facility at Jackson High School for our 2024 high school football coverage, our 25th season, and we continue with more player interviews, and we're here with wide receiver and safety senior from my Crest Lake Warriors, Bryant Cook. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me here.
So program numbers, right around the same, over 50. Talk about how's been the summer workouts, 7-on-7s, everything going so far this year.
So right around 50, obviously, is kind of an estimate. We got the sign-ups and whatnot, but
you never know until they start coming to camp.
Yeah. But I mean, summer workouts, we've had about 30s is about where we've been, like on a couple good days, but which is tough. I mean, it sucks that you can't get all the guys there, but
right.
I mean, we're putting in good work and getting in the weight room, getting outside and doing all the speed stuff, running over plays, practicing and whatnot. It's been a good summer.
Any newcomers on the come up this year that you think will make an impact, or any names that we should know about? I know Luke Guthrie last year was his first year coming back to playing football, and he's going to be likely the starting running back this year for you guys.
So Luke, not only on like first year, it's first year since I believe 5th grade he played, and he'll be a huge player. He's big running back and our middle linebacker this year, so looking forward to having him there, and that'll be important.
Let's talk a little bit about the schedule. More competition, I think, in the East this year. Napoleon lost a lot of guys. Michigan Center reloaded. You guys reloaded. So really, from top to bottom, the schedule, every game's going to matter, and now it does with this new playoff formula. It's not just 6 wins and you're in. So every game counts from the start.
Yes, sir.
So. New starting running back and new wide receiver, one of them on starters. What's it been like working with some of the new guys? Because you guys lost a couple of big names from last year's graduating class, Jack Reed and Liam. Mm-hmm. So what's it been like working with them?
It's been good. We've got great guys coming up. I mean, Liam and Jack, obviously it'll be hard to fill those shoes, but we've got the guys. The only thing is experience. I'd just say just start rolling, and every rep of anything really I think will be getting better and better.
Your coach, Randy Cole, going into his 24th season here for Grass Lake. What does he mean to you? Talk about him, and what does he mean for the team?
He's just, overall, as a guy in general, he's a great dude, and I just love having him at every practice our whole coaching staff really, but they're all great dudes, and just having them to be there every day to coach us and get us better is just amazing.
What's your bond like, or what's the team's bond like between each other as teammates, maybe on and off the field,
Yeah.
too? I imagine because I went to Grass Lake, too. It's a small school. Everybody knows everybody
Yeah,
there, so the bond's a
absolutely.
little bit tighter.
Yeah, definitely. Very small. I mean, you know really everyone in the school
Yep.
throughout all grades, and it's just like a brotherhood, really. It's like growing up with all these guys the whole time and seeing them in every class and in the halls, and it's great.
You guys were back in the playoffs last year, 6-4. Then the opening week of the playoffs, got to go to Lumen Christi.
Yes, sir.
What'd you learn from that game and the experiences from that? Because you guys hung around with them for most of the
We
first
did,
half,
yeah.
too. It's not easy, going back-to-back champions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was great. I'd say experience-wise, just the importance of knowing how to play in front of a big crowd and stuff. I mean,
Right.
playoff football is so much different, especially going to Grass Lake where there's not like crazy fans everywhere you go there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's the field too, like the crazy turf field we're used to playing on. I mean, Manchester's got the turf, but their turf's nice. It's like we've got here, and
Yep.
the atmosphere alone gets you ready for those clutch moments coming up.
Any goals for you guys this season? Obviously, to win a conference
Yeah.
championship. Do you have any maybe individual goals too?
I don't know, individual-wise, I'd say. I mean, all my high school career, I've combated a little bit of injury, so I just say stay healthy and work with the team, and like you were saying, work towards the conference championships. The big goal.
Will you guys open up the season at home versus Homer? Good
sir.
luck this season, and we'll be looking forward to following you guys.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welcome back here on JTV. I'm David Rice. Hey, Tigers, of course, today's holiday, Monday. We're coming to you on what's today, Sunday?
Sunday, yes.
Today is Sunday. Tigers just finished, though, and they beat the Red Sox 4-1. That is huge for the wild card standings. Now 70-68, 4.5 games back the last wild card spot. They've won 3 out of their last 5 games, including today. But here's where it gets tough, because we go to San Diego starting tonight, Monday, to play the Padres for 3 games.
It's going to be a tough series.
And then we host the Orioles. And then we play at Kansas City. And then we go to Baltimore. And then I forgot the schedule, and I just looked at it.
I think it was after Baltimore. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, I can't remember.
The Athletics.
Oh,
we
the-
play at
that's
the
right.
A's.
Oh,
That's 3 wins. right
Rockies
there.
as well. You said
Rockies. And then we end the season at home against the White Sox. So I think the Tigers, as much as I hate to say this, I think they'll go 500 this month.
Really?
This last part of the schedule, yeah. Because the Orioles, we play 6 games
Yeah,
against
but
the
we
Orioles.
could split it with the Orioles, and we could easily sweep the
That's
Rockies
3
and the
and 3,
Athletics.
500.
Yeah, but we could easily sweep the Athletics and the White Sox and the Rockies.
And the Rockies.
Yeah.
But
And then if we go 500 the other series, then we're
against
up.
the Rays.
Right. Yeah.
It's just, I mean, we're right there. We're 4.5 games back.
It is close. I'm back in.
We're going to, yeah, we just talked about that. You
Yeah,
were
I'm
out
back
for
in.
a while.
I'm back
I've
in,
always
though.
been in it for him.
Well,
now you're
No, I was in it for. I clearly wanted them to win.
Just
I'm
the
clearly
realistic
rooting for him.
chance.
Yeah, but I'm just looking at 10 games back of the wild card with a month to go with how we were playing at the time. I'm just like, it's probably over. And we just traded guys. So that was more, I've always had faith in them, like in terms of like, I'm always a fan of them, but I just knew it was kind of like, all right, this isn't looking good.
And I think we're going to have to steal a game from the Royals and the Orioles. Out of the 6 games with the Orioles, I think we need to win at least 4. 4 out of the 6. 3 for sure. 3 or 4.
Yeah. And 3, it's a good team, but we can get 3. I think we can get 3 out of that series.
That's realistic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, again, Tigers, we're going to be heavily, of course, we have a lot of high school stuff to get to in the coming weeks with the shows, but we're going to also be heavily following the Tigers because this is the closest they've been to the playoffs since they made the playoffs last.
Yeah, this is
So,
the closest any Detroit team has been to the playoffs, other than the Lions, and however long.
Red Wings, they were just short.
Right, but this is probably just as close. This is probably just as close as the
And I
amount of games
still
as they
didn't
had.
get a chance to end up going to a Tigers game this year. I'm disappointed.
Me
about
either.
that.
I didn't get to go to one either. I was hoping maybe at the end of September I might go to one of those last ones against the White Sox. So we'll see.
Maybe that might be crucial, even though it's against the White Sox. It'll still mean a
Yeah,
lot,
yeah.
especially it being an AL team. So
Oh yeah. And anytime we can beat the White Sox is a good time.
that's right. Even though they've lost 129 games.
Yeah, it's fun to beat up on them.
Right. Just beat them like a dog. Just pound it. College football kicked off over the weekend too. Michigan 30-10 over Fresno State. Because we only have a few minutes here, quick takeaways. They use both quarterbacks. Again, it's the first game. I'm not going to be too hard on them. We moved the ball slow. It was mostly our defense that stepped up. And the Fresno State quarterback is actually not bad. Mikey Keene, he actually had a decent game. I know 10 points doesn't seem like it, but Fresno State didn't play the worst. And it was a close game at halftime. So I'm a little playing like this, though, against Fresno State when we play Texas next week. And Texas scored almost 60. Arch Manning actually played.
Oh, I didn't see that,
He had
did he?
2 touchdowns.
No way.
He had a cool
Oh,
little shovel
that
pass.
crowd must have went
That
nuts.
was nuts.
Oh, that's so
As soon
cool.
as they put him in, they were just
Yeah.
excited.
Oh, that's so cool.
So Michigan State won again over Florida Atlantic. Clemson, a team that has no transfers, lost to Georgia 34-3.
My pick to win the national championship, Georgia, proves
I
that
thought you
they're
were
on
gonna
their
say
way.
Clemson at first.
No,
I was
no,
like,
no, no,
What
no.
is wrong with you?
No, Georgia.
But-
But I mean, like in that game, I think they were favored by 13 points. So to win 34-3 against a ranked ACC team, that's impressive. That
They won
shows
by
you-
31.
That's pretty impressive right there.
This one was scary. Michigan plays Oregon later in the year. Number 3 Oregon only beat unranked Idaho. They only have potatoes in Idaho. I'm not sure they even had their own university.
Potatoes and football.
Yeah, 24-14.
When
That
I
makes
heard
me feel
this,
a little bit better.
when I heard this, I was shocked. But I don't know who Oregon has next, but you don't want to face them next. I feel like this was a misstep and they'll come out firing for the next game.
See, part of me wants to believe that, but part of me also wants to believe that I feel better as a Michigan fan then, because if they only barely beat unranked Idaho,
Let's see the next game. I don't know who they face next,
we
but
have to evaluate the next week before
that's what
we
I
go
think.
any further.
When we were talking about college football, that some days Alabama could lose to an unranked team and then win the national championship same year. So
Right.
you
The
never
only
know.
difference is that's Alabama's the only exception, though, because they don't lose to like Mercer or any of those unranked teams. They maul them like 70
Yeah, that's true.
So.
That's true. That's probably a bad example.
And number 7, Notre Dame took care of number 20, A&M, who was favored. A&M was favored by -3 going into this game.
I think I took the Aggies in our pick segment.
I did too.
Yeah,
And
darn.
Notre Dame, Noah took Notre Dame actually.
That's right.
Irish beat the Aggies in College Station 23-13. Hey, real quick before we wrap up, again, we mentioned it a couple times, but Jackson High taking on Waverly this coming Friday live on JTV. Coverage at 6:45. Our whole crew will be there, of course, myself, Josh Brigette, the Soup, Dan Gallagher will be in the booth with us, and Max Fritz as well. So we're looking forward to that. Vikings and Warriors, 6:45 Friday night. So thanks for joining us on a holiday Monday today for the show. Appreciate it. Always a good show, Adam. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching and listening. Have a great day. We will talk to you Wednesday. Bye-bye.